Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our lecturer, Madam Siti, Azrina, binti Adanan, and our fellow classmates. We are from MAC30 8B. So, as you can see from the previous video, could you guys guess what we are going to present today? Yes, we are going to present on the topic of just-in-time system. Before we kickstart our presentation today, allow me to introduce my group members. The first presenter will be Amirul Hakim bin Ramli, followed by Nurul Hanisa binti Rosli, next Nur Anisha Zwani binti Razali, then me myself Nur Filza binti Fazila, and the last presenter will be Nur Shahira binti Muhammad Yazid. Let's proceed to the table of content. Today we are going to cover all this important part of JIT system, which is definition, background, objective, key features type of JIT system. Next, how JIT works, advantages, disadvantages, challenge, and users and example. Without further ado, I shall pass the stage to Amirul Hakim.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning everyone. Is everyone here?
Yes sir, everyone here.
Okay, that's good. Can someone please recite the dua before we start our class today?
Me sir.
Sure.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمين.
Thank you, Anis. Okay, class. Today we're going to learn about just-in-time system. Are you guys familiar with just-in-time system?
Yes sir, we have learned this just-in-time system during our diploma years.
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether I still remember about it or not.
Okay, it's fine. Let me just recap the introduction for just-in-time, or in a short way, JIT system for you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirul Hakim bin Ramli, and today I'm going to explain regarding the first half of the presentation. So, what is the definition of JIT, or we can say it in full, which is just-in-time. So, just-in-time is when the management call the supplier to supply the goods to the management when there are only order received by the customer. The motive of just-in-time method compared to other method is to reduce inventory holding costs and also to increase inventory turnover. And this could also eliminate the waste compared to other method. So move along to the history of JIT. JIT have been originated in Japan by the Toyota Motor Company, and the founder of JIT is Toyota Taichi Otno, or in short we can call it Otno. So Otno created JIT after post-credit of World War II. Its main mission of JIT is to compete with the American company in the motor industry. So, why JIT being created by Otno is due to the fact in the post-credit World War II, in Japan, demand of motor industry have been tanked or dropped tremendously. Thus, if Otno continue by using the normal traditional that have been used worldwide, which is economic order quantity or EOQ, it will not be optimized by or optimum by them, and they will suffer a lot of losses. So Otno have to find a way to modernize EOQ, thus created JIT. So let us discuss the objective of JIT. JIT is a device of elimination of waste. Otno, the founder of JIT, have been highlighted 6 points of elimination of waste, which is overproduction, waste from producing more than is needed. When you are using JIT, you only producing the goods when there is a specific request from the customer or even demand. Hence why there is none or even zero production are happening in the factory. Next point is time spent waiting. The ideal time between worker A to complete worker A to complete the goods and send to the worker B are reduced when you are implementing JIT. Transportation and movement point is ways that are associated of moving around of the asset or the inventory in the factory, because there is more inventory that are being held because JIT reduce. Remember, the objective of JIT is to reduce holding costs. Hence why when you are reducing holding costs, there is less inventory to be held. When there is less inventory to be held, there is less cost of moving and transporting inventory around in the factory. Next point is processing time. Ways that associated with spending more time necessary on a machine. JIT, when you are using JIT, there is less using of machine because you are only using a machine when there is a demand by the customer or even a request by the customer. Hence why when you are less using of machine, you could also reduce the operation cost. Second last point, which is inventory. Ways that associated with keeping stocks, which is JIT keep minimal stocks in the warehouse. Hence why it could reduce many of holding costs. Last point is defects, which associated with defective item. Meaning when you are holding less inventory in the warehouse, there is less possibility or probability of defective item that you are accountable for when you are using JIT. So far so good, guys. Shall we continue with the next explanation on the key feature of the JIT system?
Yes, sir, sure. Okay, now let I explain to you about the key features of the just-in-time. So the first one is the pull method of material flow. So the production of items will be activated only by the customer's demand. So meaning that the stock only will come whenever that the stock order is placed. And the product will only be produced in a small lots just as needed. So if there is no demand, there will be no production. The second one is the close supplier ties, meaning that the just-in-time need to have a close relationship with supplier due to a low inventory level. So the just-in-time need to maintain its reliable and dependable relationship with the supplier. This is because of the shipments must be frequently made in a smaller amounts of inventories to ensure that it's arrive on schedule with a high quality goods. And in order to have a supplier dependability, long-term contracts are needed in order to have usually used to negotiate the order cost. So the third one is about the flexible workforce. When workers have flexibility in their work, of course they can perform more than one job, which is they depend on heavy orders. So the workforce can be vary with the requirements of the productions. So in order to get the high degree of flexibility in workforce, it actually can be achieved with a little training. And the last one is the consistently high quality. So the efficiency in the just-in-time system operation requires the conformance to the product specifications and the control quality at source and workers, which is acting as their own quality inspector, which it maintains the high quality consistently by eliminate the scrap and rework.
Are you guys clear with the explanation? If you guys have any question, you may ask now.
Sir, I have some question. Does just-in-time system have any specific step, or is there any step that included in the just-in-time system?
Good question, Shira. Yes, there is a step in just-in-time system itself. Here, I will play a video for you guys for a better understanding.
So now, what are the steps when they implemented the just-in-time system? So we have 8 steps, which is first design, second manage, third pool, and the fourth one is establish, that will be explained by me just later. And the last 4 steps will be explained by my friend Anis, which are fine-tune, build, refine, and review. Okay. Here is the first step. The first step is design. The just-in-time process is actually begins with reviewing the essential manufacturing building blocks, such as the product design, the process design, the personnel, and the manufacturing planning. And then the plans will be put into a place so that it will be eliminate the disruptions and minimize waste, and it will build the flexible systems. And the second step is manage. A total quality management is meaning that a management framework is based on the belief that an organization can build a long-term success. This is to ensure that there is continuous improvement throughout the process. So by having this management review, we can see that the workers' roles and responsibilities and measures the statistical quality control in order to stabilize the schedules and checkout load and the capacity levels. Now we move to the third step, which is poll. So poll step is actually to educate the team on production and withdrawal methods, like using signaling method like Kanban. So the Kanban is a controlling progress, production, and inventory movement, so it can review and reduce the lot size of the inventory. Step 4 is about establish. So the main key to the success of just-in-time system is a vendor relationships. The first one, they would review the vendor list, and then they would settle on the preferred supplier they want, and they will negotiate the contracts. And after that, they would have discussed the lead times and how delivery expectation they want to ensure that they could rely on the best supplier.
Thank you, Nisa. I will continue with the next steps. In step number 5, which is fine-tune. Fine-tune in GIT means they need to focus on the inventory needs and review the inventory policy and control. They also need to focus on the inventory movement in order to increase the inventory efficiency. Next step is step number 6, which is build. They need to inform the team about the skills and also capabilities it needs to complete the work. Therefore, the team may build based on the skills and also capability needed. They also need to conduct the team education and also empowerment seasons to educate the teams about the process of JIT. Step number 7 is to refine, where they need to refine the entire process to reduce the number of parts and steps in production. They may be refining, standardizing, and reviewing the entire process of JIT. Last step is step number 8, which is a review by defining and implementing the quality measures and metric. In continuous improvement, they may conduct a root cause analysis of any problems. They also may emphasize the empowerment and track the trends to improve every aspect of JIT.
Up to this point, are you guys clear on the steps that have been used by the JIT system?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Sir, I am still unclear about how the GIT system works. Can you elaborate more on this?
Okay. Since the rest of you already understand, can someone answer Phil's question? Give it a try, everyone. Anyone?
Sir,
Yeah?
sir, I think I have a video related to the question. Can I show to the class?
Sure. Go ahead.
Just-in-time inventory, commonly referred to as JIT, is an inventory management strategy that aligns raw material delivery to specific production cycles so that materials arrive as production is scheduled but no sooner. This ensures there's only enough stock to produce what's needed when it's needed, with the goal of achieving high-volume production with minimal inventory on hand and eliminating waste. A just-in-time strategy works well for businesses that use a make-to-order model. However, keeping just enough product on hand means a business may not be able to meet unexpected demand. Therefore, businesses using a just-in-time strategy need to meticulously plan their production processes, fine-tune visibility into their supply chain, and ensure demand forecasting is accurate. Done successfully, just-in-time inventory strategies lower inventory costs, minimize warehouse needs, improve efficiencies, and decrease waste, all of which help to increase business profitability.
I see. Thank you, Anis, for the clear explanation. By the way, based on what I have learned today, I found that the JIT system has advantages and disadvantages too.
Yes, every system in this world have its own pros and cons. Here are the video that highlights some of the advantages and the disadvantages of the JIT system.
Everything have their own advantage. Same goes to JIT. There are a lot of advantage actually. However, I will present two of them and others will present by the next presenter. Okay, first advantage is a reduced holding cost. As we know that JIT is where goods received from the supplier at that time they are needed. Therefore, the inventory holding costs like those for housing, warehousing or storage space are minimal because less space is used to store the goods. Next advantage is improve the quality of product. A flexible workforce can focus on making the quality products with a lower defect rate since the production mistake can be spotted faster and corrected. As a result, the better outcome increase the customer satisfaction and reduce the cash outlay for production. In addition, the quality of the product will be improved as there are an advance guarantee for the quality of the raw material from the supplier. So deliveries go straight to the production areas instead of being held in receiving to await inspection.
Thank you, Anis. I will proceed with the next advantage of JIT system, which is smaller investment. So what is meant by smaller investment? Okay, as we know, the JIT system is an ideal methodology for small production facilities that do not have enough funds in order to purchase huge amount of stock at once. So only the essential stock are obtained and less working capital were needed for financial procurement. Therefore, because of the less amount of stock held in the inventory, the organization return on investment will be high. Thus, this will enable the company to maintain a healthy and smooth cash flow. The last advantage is waste elimination. The JIT system management eliminates over-ordering and excess of all kinds, in which happen when the supply of an item in the market exceed the demand and lead to an accumulation of unstable inventories. So this product then will be turned into inventory bad stock, which increase waste and consume inventory space. But if company apply JIT system, company usually orders only when they need, so there is no risk of accumulating unsaleable inventories. Despite of the potential advantages, there are some drawbacks to just-in-time inventory, which are as follow. First is risk of running out of stock. Second, lack of control over time frame. Third is price shock. Fourth is more planning were required. The first disadvantages of JIT system is the risk of running out of stock. As we know, if company implement the JIT system, they usually don't have any extra stock once the finished product has been made. So, it is very crucial to have a proper procedure in place to ensure stock are become readily available and quickly. In case if there's anything happen with the current stock, at least by having a good relationship with supplier, the supplier will consider to provide extra stock and deliver it again to the companies if there's something out of control. Okay, besides that, companies may come out with company may come out with an exclusive agreement with suppliers that specify supplying goods within a certain time of frame and prioritizing their company. Next, lack of control over time frame. Having to rely on the timeliness of the supplier for each order put the company at risk of delaying the customer's receipt of goods. If the companies are unable to meet the customer expectation or customer requirement, they could take their business elsewhere, which will have a huge impact on their business if this occurs too often. So next, the price shock. As we know, the JIT system itself is a model that depends on the supplier's performance and timeliness. which are very hard to be ensured. Additionally, the manufacturers need to be able to cover any sudden increase in the price of raw materials, since they cannot afford to order during better pricing. Lastly, more planning were required. So with the JIT system, it is imperative that companies understand their sales trends and variance in close details. Most companies have seasonal sales periods. Therefore, the companies themselves need to factor that into planning for inventory levels.
Oh, I completely understand all the explanations. But, sir, is there any challenge if the company implements the just-in-time system?
So, I think there might be a few challenges that company might face when implementing this system, right, sir?
Yes, absolutely, Anis.
Next, we proceed with challenge in JIT. The first challenge in JIT is problem with forecasting, coping with sudden demand, additional training or planning requirement, and less control of supply chain. Moving on to the challenge on JIT. So the first challenge is the problem with forecasting. So why actually forecasting is a challenge to the JIT system? As we know, by using forecasting, people are actually use the previous year figures and assume that the business will remain static. So the problem occurs when the business peak or grew by years. Thus, the forecast will be misleading. Ultimately, this could mean the business running out their required corrugated packaging before the next delivery date. Besides that, is coping with the sudden demand. Perhaps the biggest issue in the just-in-time system is actually its supply. If it is not managed properly, it will become not feasible when it comes to the good fortune. For instance, if one of the competitors goes out of the business, the company may suddenly get a large influx of unexpected order. It is a strain on the packaging supply and the potential to be run out. I guess that's all from me, and for the next challenge will be presented by the next presenter, which is Nur Shahira.
Next, let's proceed with the additional training and planning requirement. Okay, this type of system can be taught to a new or existing employee in a relatively short space of time. However, with a just-in-time supply agreement, the whole process is more complex. It requires much more frequent stock checking, often daily, with increased accuracy crucial due to these figures being used to order future packaging stock. It may also entail the use of more sophisticated equipment such as barcode scanner and computer software, so it needs an adequate training for staff, and while this is more in-depth and costly than it may have been before, the ongoing cost saving of using a vendor-managed inventory will easily outweigh this. So, for the fourth one, the challenges by using JIT is it will has less control of supply chain. Okay, one of the key advantage of being an SME is that you can be more flexible and agile, but just-in-time supply can inhibit this if you are not careful. For example, your business will know about expected peaks and true in demand and will order accordingly. But if you hear of a new business opportunity or an existing customer has an emergency that you can help with, then you may not find it quite as easy to exploit this situation. In effect, just-in-time supply can limit your potential for maximizing opportunities to grow your businesses.
Okay, class, I guess we already come towards the end of the discussion. Can someone give me a few examples of businesses that actually implement the JIT system?
Mister.
Okay, the first user that I want to introduce is a Toyota. Okay, as we know, Toyota is considered by many to be the poster child for JIT success, where by using JIT, Toyota produces its vehicle based on the order it received through its dealers, where in this production process, the company uses its supply chain in such a manner that only the parts that are needed to manufacture vehicles are received on time. With JIT2, it allows Toyota to minimize its inventory of vehicle parts. So, the type of JIT that Toyota use
is a TPS, it means Total Production System, this is been established based on two concepts, which is for the first concept is a Jidoka concept, it means the automation with a human touch. For the second concept, just in time, where with these two concepts, TPS can efficiently and quickly produce vehicles of sound quality, one at a time that truly satisfy customer requirement. So along with this TPS, Toyota implement Kanban system, where this is a scheduling system that often used in conjunction with GIT to avoid overcapacity of work in process. So how this Kanban system work? Okay, Kanban can become an effective tool. Also, with Kanban, problem areas are being highlighted, and also Kanban can maintain inventory level. Next, we proceed with the Apple. As we know, Apple is the most profitable business that uses GIT inventory management, where Apple motivation is to not be stocking excess inventory and reduce energy consumption. So, what did they do? Okay, they built reliable and trustworthy relationship with supplier so that they can order stock with far shorter preparation times with assurance that the order will be fulfilled. Second, by doing dropship method, this is when the product is shipped directly from the manufacturer to a customer. It enables Apple to eliminate middlemen as well as reducing shipping and storage costs for their company. So, the key of Apple's success by using GIT system include stocking inventory at their retail store, supplier willingness to keep inventory on hand, and dropship arrangement. With this method, it helps Apple to build strong supplier relationship as well as maintain competitive position. And the last one I want to introduce you guys is a McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's is one of the most popular fast food chains with a worldwide presence. It is one of the largest fast food chains serving 47 million customers daily. So as we know, its main line of business is hamburger. So by using GIT, McDonald's does not begin to cook or assemble or preheat their stuff until they receive a customer order. And then by implementing GIT, the new burger making technology that enable them to make burger faster and keep the time between placing an order and receiving it as minuscule as possible. With GIT too, McDonald's can have a proper inventory management and reduce wastage while giving maximum satisfaction to the customer, and also it can lead to a huge decrease in cost for McDonald's. So the result of using GIT on McDonald's, it improves quality of food of the McDonald's, and then McDonald's can have better customer service and also can have better raw material handling. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Okay, that's sum up of our discussion for today. I hope you guys understand GIT system very clearly, and it could benefit you in future when you go for internship for manufacturing industry, if you guys taking any internship under the manufacturing industry that implement GIT. Okay, thank you all guys, and don't forget to do your tutorial.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.